Hello, this is Paladin Prepper with an update on Back to Eden gardening. As you know, not only did I mulch the entire backyard, but I did my front yard as well. We hadn't planted anything out back, but I'll tell you what, this is now March the 3rd, and I just wanted to show you that several months ago we planted garlic, and now our little bulbs of garlic are coming up. So officially this is our first plants coming up in our Back to Eden garden. It's a small thing, but hey, it's one more thing. And one of the things that Cat's Cradle mentioned to me is that those garlic plants being in our front yard, in fact on the front edge of our front yard, that there are people who walk through our front yard, although it has mulch on it. I wouldn't expect people to be walking through my front yard if it has mulch on it. I could understand if it had grass, but nevertheless, I'm told that neighborhood children and the letter carrier walk through our front yard. So in order to preserve the safety of our garlic plants, here's what I've decided to do. I took some of this hardware cloth, and I've cut it in such a way, I measured it 10 squares this way and 20 squares in the other direction, just an arbitrary number. And so that what I could then do is make a cage. In fact, let me turn it over here. So the top, I've clipped it so that the top is going to be fairly smooth and the bottom can stick down. And then I'm going to hand this over to Prepper A so I can continue with the explanation. And so what I'm going to do, first of all, let me go ahead and show you how I did this in case you decide to do the same sort of thing. You'll notice I intentionally cut off one end here, but left these spines in place. And so I go ahead and now I lost track here, and I was going down to 20 here, but got to 10 and started cutting up the edge here. But anyway, I'll go ahead and fold this over. Now you'll see that these ridges, these wires are on the outside. And I'm doing that, so when I'm bending it this way, I'm intentionally bending it so that these wires are on the outside. So we're going to bend that around like so. So you know when you bend it this way, the tension is going to be to pull out. And so I'm going to put this in here, kind of round it the best I can here. All right. So then you would put the tine or the spine behind this clip here. And I'll bring out my handy dandy needle nose pliers. So we can just take and bend that over in the opposite direction from the resistance, and so that we can do that all the way down pretty quickly. To make that cage. And I don't know, perhaps Cantel, you may have a situation to do this. Now of course I wouldn't be doing this in the backyard. Nobody's going to be walking through my backyard, and frankly I don't want metal hardware of some kind in my garden, unless of course I may have a tomato cage, but nothing unnecessary. But I'm basically just doing this so that people walking in the front, even if they're walking down the sidewalk, those garlic plants are fairly close to the edge of the sidewalk, and for someone who gets the notion to step into my yard, I don't want them stepping onto my fine garlic plants. Capiche? So we're just about done with that. That's going to be a nice little cage there. And we can finish rounding it out, making it a little more uniform once we get all the tines in place. Alright, so now you can just kind of make that nice and uniform. So now we have 3 of those. Now what I've done is I took some of this standard wire that you can buy at any hardware store, and what I did was I simply straightened out this wire and stuck it down about the length to see about the height of that, and then we take it at that point and bend it there. So with that in mind, what I've done is I've now bent these stakes here so that obviously you don't want the wind to blow these cages away, and so we'll be able to take 2 of these stakes, and once we put these bottom edges in the ground a little bit, then on each side, perhaps even here, we can put a stake into the ground at each side, and that will hold it in place. So that's just a little tip, just showing you what I'm doing. You may not have the need to do this, but you never know. Well, upon further inspection, Prepper A and I discovered that all 5 of the garlic plants came up, and so we put cages around all 5 and put those wire stakes on the front side and on the back side where the rib is. So that's our update on the Back to Eden garden in the front yard. Paladin Prepper.